We are live at halftime.
Live and in charge.
Welcome to the Deep Dive Halftime Show, powered by BetSperts. This is
King Vape cartridge.
I gotta tell you, man. Entertaining game for a lot of the first half, and then we just kind of ran into a cinder block wall there after the second touchdown by the Steelers.
They owe me an entertaining game because right now on Amazon Prime, everything used to be, hey, if it had a little Prime symbol, boom, 2 days at the most. Sometimes one if you ordered it early in the day. Now it's like a week. Prime doesn't mean what it used to mean. So Jeff owed me a decent game.
Yes,
he doesn't make the schedule, even though he's a very powerful man. So this was low on the list of games that we thought was going to be entertaining, but we've had some good plays.
Before you go and give Jeff Bezos any more credit, he's only given us a good half. And it wasn't even a full good half.
I know it was like the first 7 minutes bad, the last 7 minutes bad. There was a stretch in there. And yeah, obviously I brought up a play. I said there was another cool play I thought in the first half, that Wallace, the closing speed on that third down play. Like he came out, like that guy was wide open. He came out and knocked that down. And obviously our guy, and everybody calls him Pickett because of the quarterback. It is Pickens. George Pickens had a intimate and consensual relationship with the ball on that play, and we'll be getting in no trouble for it because that was awesome.
Andy, before you go any further, we got to fire. Browns.
What do we?
Browns.
This is going to 3.
Yeah. If you can get a 2.5, Browns take it right now. I don't actually think that 2.5, 3 matters. I would take -3, -103 right now. Chris is a better bet just because of the lower juice. The Browns ultimately are going to win this game, and I think this is touchdowns, not field goals. And the lethargy, the exhaustion that you can feel with the Steelers defense, I think carries into the second half. The Browns literally don't need to change anything about their offense other than making sure Amari Cooper stays in bounds on routes. That's an easy adjustment, Andy. Easy. You sit Amari Cooper down. You say, "Hey, stay in bounds on routes.
Don't go out of bounds."
Yeah.
And if I'm making a second half adjustment too, I'm just saying, like, why aren't we using Njoku on like 3/4 of the plays? Also, they've decided just not to cover him at all, and he's
going to finish with 14 catches tonight.
Yeah, it's like Kelsey put on an Njoku jersey tonight. Like he looks really good. Cooper outside of, hey, you went out of bounds, and clearly, I mean, he went way out of bounds, buddy. Get your shit together. But he looks really good. He's looked good on a few plays. The passing game is kind of there with Brissett. They should be up. Like they should be up probably 17-7. One of those Steelers drives is a little goofy in my mind. Steelers have composed themselves well though. Like the run game's been fine. Mitch has like 9 for 13, 109 yards. Again, not a lot of it has been deep balls, but he's taking what they're giving him and even throw left once. It's not been bad. Why do you think, or how do you think they're going to contain the monster that is Mitchell, QB1, Trubisky in the second half? This defense doesn't look like they're getting off the ball in the pass rush. Have you seen adjustments in the past from this?
Yes.
No, just quick. From this Browns defensive coordinator, have you seen the adjustments as far as we might need to blitz him?
Yes.
Because that's probably what's going to happen.
Yes, 100%. That's exactly what I'm expecting.
Thank you.
That's exactly what I'm expecting. And on top of that, a lot of Mitch's success, if you really kind of read between the lines, he's thrown a couple of good balls, but it's largely been the scripted portion that he was like really, really effective. His wide receivers are fucking awesome. Don't get me wrong. Like there are some parts of the Steelers offense that are the seeds of something good in the future when they finally get their quarterback in position to do something solid. But Mitch Trubisky is going to be on the run in the second half. There's going to be scrambling. There's going to be broken pockets. They are not going to allow him to just kind of dictate the way things go. In my opinion, I think there's going to be it's going to be the Steelers offense is going to look a lot more chaotic in the second half. And really my entire handicap here is that the Steelers defense is just out of gas, period. they've had an absolutely horrific start to the season in terms of how many minutes they've had to be on the field, and fatigue is fucking real, and they're on a short week, and these guys are helpless after, just kind of reading between the lines what happened in that Patriots game. Browns get a lead in the second half at some point, and they put this thing away. Whether they score a bunch of points or not is entirely up to anyone else's guess. I think the full game over is probably going to hit. I mean, too many points have been scored at this point, but I think realistically, if we see like a 8-0, 11-0, 14-0 second half in favor of the Browns is kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, like 13-7, something along those lines. I think this total's pretty sharp. Like it's fine where it's at. And then the Steelers D has looked good in a few spots. Like I said, that closing from Wallace and some of the secondary pieces have been good, but the pressure hasn't been there on either quarterback, really. There's been a couple sacks, but it's been like right away. Like they've just kind of run into a couple sacks. They're not good quarterbacks. I mean, neither of them is. Who do you have ranked higher here in your quarterback power rankings for what you use for offensive power rankings? They're like what? 20,
this is
probably like 23rd and 25th,
27, 28.
Yeah. I'm a little higher on Brissett. He's looked okay. He's made some passes down the field that have been.
He's a
pretty
big
good.
body,
but I mean, a couple of his deep balls have looked pretty decent. It's not his fault. Cooper ran out of bounds. That was a good ball. Like Brissett's a better quarterback, but Mitch does run a little, and we saw that. So yeah, 10-0 would be so hot, says Patrick. Does anyone here have a full game under that they're gonna close their eyes and pretend like it has a shot? It does. I mean, it still does.
How many points have been scored? 27.
27.
So 10-0 Browns gets it home.
Patrick.
You need a Steelers to get shut out, which I think is not crazy. The Browns defense has not looked great, surely. But again, if you can get a little bit of pressure on Mitch, which you fucking ought to be able to. I mean, this offensive line is asking for it.
A bunch of people have unders or teased unders. Can Mitch Bortles stay under? I know a lot of people had passing yards under around 200, 195. That closed, and I just looked at like Buckeye. That closed at 190 minus 50 to the under. There's a lot of money coming on Mitch Trubisky under.
It was.
It's not in great shape, but it's not like it's dead. He needs to have a bad second half. And same thing, his completions were like 19.5. He has 9. Again, it's kind of right on pace to be sweaty.
I think he's already hit his longest completion over by a yard. I think it was 35, and he had a 36 there. I think he had 35, and it was 36 to Pickens. The Pickens catch was fucking amazing. Guy rocks. He's not going to do anything, though, this year in the Rookie of the Year market unless he and Pickens and Pickett. This is going to drive me fucking crazy for the rest of my life.
Slim Pickens.
Pickens had an amazing catch. Pickett, if they develop chemistry after Mitch gets benched after this god-awful half of football that's coming, then he may be still in the Rookie of the Year race, but London has grabbed that. In my mind, at least, London has grabbed that with two hands. He's got
not only that, but just
a completed catch in terms of favorite status there. I will say this one more general thought, and then I'm going to ask you. One of the reasons that Mitch Bortles props are under pressure is because the wind only really impacted that 50-yard field goal attempt. Am I crazy?
Yeah, I had a weird, stupid theory, and maybe somebody who's actually been to this horrible field can tell me. But it just looks like when they show players on the sideline or like coaches or anyone, it's not like their shirt's not like flapping in the wind. It feels like there's not much wind at like field level. But if you get up a little, because where the kick was, you do see the flags flopping around, and obviously that kick was super affected, but it doesn't look like the throws are being affected. This isn't like the Mac Jones game where it is super windy at field level, and unless you got a rocket launcher on your right shoulder like Josh Allen, you're gonna have some issues. Brissett looks fine throwing through this wind. I don't know if it's that windy at field level. If you made me bet a side or a total, I'd probably take the over here because the teams have moved the ball nice.
18, 19,
18
20,
and a half.
20.
Like, I don't want any. I think it's pretty sharp. I think you're gonna end up somewhere between 17 and 20. Like it's gonna stay pretty close to that.
No action really on the side here. Chris is still sitting steadfast at 3 with the -104.
Right, I like it but I do like it when you get on here and you say exactly what I'm thinking.
bang,
like,
bang.
Well, it's like, hey, we should bet the Browns. I'm like, thank you.
Okay.
Because I was close to betting the Browns -5. I really don't believe in the Steelers offense. We saw, again, it's been such a disappointing half of football from the Browns defense. They do need to make an adjustment. Name that coordinator, Drew.
Who needs to make which one? The Browns D coordinator? It's Woods. Joe Woods? Alex Woods. Joe Woods? Joe Woods.
I think they showed him once.
Okay. Joe Woods. I don't know.
He's been all over. He's been on like 10.
He has teams. Perennially underachieved with a very talented roster, from what I could tell you.
I'm not sure he was a Broncos coordinator. I think maybe John Fox era, maybe not that far back.
Here's what I will kind of postulate. Well, by the way, when we get to the pick that quickly, you know what we call that in the biz? No fiddle fucking around. None. Just right to the business. I like this look a lot. It's been a good night for me so far. I have flush accounts with some first half wins, so maybe I'm
a little. Again, I don't. I played a small. Sometimes I couldn't do first touchdown scorers because I looked at it. A bunch of people had a bunch of different opinions, and I'm like, God, it just feels like it's just going to be like Hunt or our other guy there. Who's the running back for? Why can't I think of his name for the Steelers right now? Najee Harris. It just felt like a gross one where a running back gets in. It was still chalky, but I didn't play any touchdown scores for the first time ever. I felt dumb not having a bet, so I did bet the no score first 7.5 minutes, which was funny that it was just never in doubt. And then the 10 minutes following that were
bang,
good drive after good drive. It's still, I don't know what happened in there. There's a fever dream in the middle.
I played no field goal first half, and I saw them line up for the 50-yarder, and I was like, idiots. 50-yarder. Best of luck.
It looked
and then I was like, oh,
45
shit,
yards.
He's gonna make it, and then it just tailed duck dive because the wind, presumably.
I believe it was the Mac Jones game. They showed some clips of that the other day on something I was watching. There was a kick in that game that went just wildly off, that just kind of took a hard right. It's like the meme where the car, fishtails it onto the exit to, make a choice rather than the highway. Same kind of thing with that kick. Love
that meme. It's like, I'm good, I'm not. I don't know. That was fun. I actually had
still in halftime here.
I ended up getting a decent sized bet down on that, so I was pretty fired up that missed. Total right now, no one's betting the side whatsoever. Everybody agrees 3 is fair as fair.
Where's the total been moving?
I've seen it bounce. It's 20 right now, -114 to the over, -115 to the over.
Well,
people
feel better about
they're not take, even. There's no hammers. It's literally just nibbling. I haven't seen anything sincerely.
Mallets,
hit
smaller hammer, tack hammers. Rock hammers.
I was thinking more like mallets, like the rubber ones. Bing,
well, it's the hammer from Shawshank.
Pop.
Where it's like,
yeah.
It's the little tiny hammer for making. Oh, it is overtime.
I like that.
And you know what? Overtime is brought to you by. It is not King Cobra vape cartridge, whatever.
We've dissolved our relationship after their lurid sexual harassment at the workplace allegations. We have dissolved our relationship with the King Venom vape cartridges.
I still can't think of the name, and I did a rewatch of Brockmire the other day. We're brought to you today by No House Advantage, where you can 20x your money on a 5-entry player prop. They do NFL, MLB, NBA, PGA, MMA, NASCAR. Sign up with promo code BetSperts at nohouseadvantage.com or download the app on the App Store to get your first deposit match up to $25. Take your shot. That's not even their tagline. I'm just going to make up taglines for them every time now.
Take your shot.
Take your shot. Maybe one of them will stick. Maybe I'll get hired in their marketing department. Regardless.
House advantage rules. No house.
We are in overtime, and probably not a super long overtime for me today. I got to get home, but so no movie trivia today. And then let's God damn it. It's not good. There's not a good one for the NBA. It's like, let's skate on over to the NHL. But let's dribble on over to the NBA and talk about Udoka, which is a wildly long suspension, right?
Who's that?
Huh?
I don't know how to say his first name.
I mean, I'm waiting for this pronunciation.
I'm just gonna. I saw a tweet when he was hired. Apparently, he was the first black coach in Celtics history.
That's on record.
Turned out Jay
Williams.
False.
Jay
Williams.
First.
Was Jay Williams the guy who laid down his motorcycle? Am I thinking of the right guy?
Yeah, I went to school with him, by the way. He and I were in the same class in neighboring dorms.
Ime Udoka, yeah. And again, I hate making these arguments. A lot of people did it with Watson and the gambling suspension down in Atlanta.
How the fuck did he catch that?
Jesus Christ. It is crazy that this is a longer suspension than what Watson got. Because again, all he did was, screw around at work, I guess. This is why I work all alone in a little shed all by myself here, in a little closet. So I don't have sexy coworkers to tempt me, apparently. The temptations there in Beantown were just too much. It was funny, too. It started as everybody thought it was a COVID cover-up. And, that was pretty...
Which was plausible.
Well established by some decent sources.
Yeah.
And then it turned to, oh, no, this girl. And then said, oh, it might be the other girl. And then, no, it's all the girls. Basically anybody with it. And the one is married to someone else in the organization. Maybe that's playing a part. Who's going to coach? Is it Brad? Is he going to step back in?
No,
I don't think he has
it's the domestic violence guy.
That's the worst part about the whole thing is, the guy that's stepping in legitimately. I read about that earlier today. He has a history of some domestic violence allegations. I don't think, everyone joked about Brad. I don't think he has any sort of want to ever coach again. I think he's pretty happy where he's at. That's got to be a way easier job. So I don't know. How do you think this affects how do you think it affects him long term? As far as their chances in a very tough conference.
In 2022-23, it fucks them. I don't think interim coach is leading this Celtics squad, which is on the brink of success, to ultimate glory. No way. It's way the NBA. They were on the edge of glory. way too competitive right now. Eastern Conference.
We should. And so people make mistakes, and granted, this guy's probably a shithead, but we should give him his Christian name instead of the domestic violence guy.
Andy, I don't know his name.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I read about it.
He's an assistant. All I know is that he's not an especially good guy.
Here's a good one. Shout out Phil Jackson and Jeannie Buss. That one bugs me even more because all I can picture Jeannie Buss as is the teenage girl from the HBO show now. In my mind, that's Jeannie.
Right. If we've learned nothing, it is perfectly fine to sleep with the owner. It is not okay to sleep with an executive's wife. No, sir. And if you didn't already know that, what the balls really on Udoka for being well, who is she again? Oh, VP's wife? Well,
Spolster married a cheerleader.
Whatever.
That's true. That's different. That's different.
It's very different. If Udoka cheats on Nia Long with a Celtics cheerleader, he's not getting suspended for a year. No.
That's just hey, they're cheerleaders. That's the
no.
Patrick, God, we can't do this to our buddy
Patrick.
Joe Mazzulla. Just call him J-Maz. We can't do that to James.
What would you do if you had $1 million? 2 chicks at the same time? Mark Davis? No.
Did you see that drink I had the other day? It was a pre-mixed cocktail.
Space?
No, but it was a pre-mixed cocktail, and the brand name was 2 Chicks. I posted it, and somebody just instantly went there.
Office Space, right?
I tell you what I'd do, man.
What would you do with $1 million?
I love how he said,
the Steelers are moving the ball so fraudulently. It is really something to behold.
The retort too by Livingston, where he says, something about like maybe girls aren't gonna, just sleep with you for money. He's like, yeah, the kind of chicks that would double up on a guy like me would. That's such a good character. Or he's just yelling at him through the wall. That's worth a rewatch.
Come on, stop these fucking guys.
The Steelers are matriculating a little,
but it's so fraudulent. Like this is smoke and mirrors. Like the fact that the Browns haven't figured out a way to shut this down is a problem for the Browns long term.
Do you think
in this game I still feel fine about the Browns as the play?
Where does that come from? Smoke? Is that like a magic show analogy?
Smoke and mirrors? 100%.
Probably magic show, right?
100%.
We demand to be taken seriously.
Illusions, Andy. Illusions. 2nd and 14. Let's get a sack here. Sack fumble wouldn't disappoint me. Pick 6 wouldn't disappoint me. There's been some close calls. Oh, more fucking absolute misdirection bullshit. Oh man, the Browns are just disappointing on every level. Oh, flag down at least. So they caught one of the 4 holdings. Thank goodness. Who's down?
Before we go,
is that Myles Garrett? Oh, no,
any further thoughts on Sunday games?
JOK down
from the injury reports today. Anything jarring? I've made a point. There's been a million. I made a point that I was close to betting the Saints. I needed to see the injury reports. It was positive for the Saints, and also Christian McCaffrey dinged up. He'll play for sure, but it begins. It starts with a trickle. It's always a snowball with that guy. One little thing, and then all of a sudden he's out. Like, oh, he's missing 3 weeks.
There are infinity
injuries
players on the injury report. I'm
at the point his finger and half the NFL got injured.
You know how? Have you ever tried to sincerely bet preseason? You ready? Have you ever tried to bet preseason? And it's so fucking hard to figure out who's actually going to play. That's what it's like right now. It's miserable. Best of luck to everyone.
There's a 3+100 at Chris that I'm dangerously close to taking.
So. I like it. Yeah, I like it. I think the only thing I've added so far is I added some Commanders. After we talked about it, I thought about it. And
I thought about it too, but I'm already on that over. So I'm betting on. I'm essentially betting. I'm betting on the Commanders' offense there.
We can high five when the Commanders and the over both get home on Sunday. So
Eiffel Tower high five.
Yep.
All right, guys. Man.
Have fun.
Hey, you guys have been great.
Yep. Thank you, everyone who joined us.
See you in the Discord, hosers.
Yeah.